In this video, I want to run through some OTC filings for some of the OTC stocks that were on my watch list. I've been reading a lot of filings related to companies that have done recent reverse splits, um, listed stocks that have been doing reverse splits, because that strategy requires understanding fundamental reasons why the company is doing the reverse split. And now that I'm getting a little bit better at understanding the filings and finding what kinds of things to look for with regards to financing or just how to read their balance sheet, I decided I should look into OTCs that I would possibly have been trading in the future and just see if there's anything that would keep me away from trading them. So, this first stock I'm going to talk about is MLTC. This one made a big run from 6 cents to like 35 cents a couple days ago, and then it's pulled back. This is one that I would be looking for it to pull back, consolidate, and break out again to higher levels. And let's take a look at some of their filings. So this is otcmarkets.com. This is where I'll go to read filings for OTC stocks. And let's take a look at their 10Q. That's their quarterly report. The first thing to note is that they have about 100 million shares outstanding. They've got $5,500 in cash. And so a lot of times these balance sheets will say up here near the top of the balance sheet table that the numbers are in thousands. In this case, it doesn't say that, so this is the actual number. They've got $5,000 in cash. They've got $100,000 in current liabilities. And so their total shareholders deficit is negative $96,000. And I think that's the main thing I wanted to see out of here. So far it doesn't look too good. They don't really have any income. They have a lot of debt and very little cash. So this Form 1012G amended. I'm just going to do a quick search here so I can show you what I found that really turned me off on this company. It says this company is a blank check company. At present, the company is a development stage company with no revenues, no assets, and no specific business plan or purpose. The company's business plan is to seek new business opportunities or engage in a merger or acquisition with an unidentified company. As a result, the company is a blank check company. And then just a few paragraphs later, we are a shell company, as is defined in Rule 405. So this is just a straight up shell company. I mean, they say it right here in their filing. They have no revenue, no asset, no business plan, no purpose. I'm not going to trade this company now. I know OTCs are generally sketchy companies that are on their way down. This isn't even a company. This is just nothing. So that one is off my watch list now. The next one is NMUS, NMUS. So you can see that this stock has been building up towards a breakout at this 55 to 60 cent level. It's pretty choppy. It's definitely not ideal. But I had it on my secondary watch list to possibly play it. But let's get into this filing here. So we see in the company profile, Nemus Bioscience is a biopharmaceutical company that plans to develop and commercialize therapeutics from cannabinoids. So they're a weed company. And let's look at their most recent filing, this SC13D amended from February 4th. Just scrolling down here real quick, it looks like they got some sort of loan for $20 million. And as part of that, there are some convertible shares. It looks like 5 million shares of common stock at a fixed conversion price of 40 cents per share. And warrants of 2.5 million shares of common stock that can be converted at an exercise price of 50 cents per share. So they've got convertible debt here in the 50 cents and 40-cent range. That was from February 4th. And so, it's possible that they've already exercised that, but, I don't know. And that's enough to just keep me away from this play, with that combined with just how choppy and non-ideal this play is. I'm just not even going to watch it. The next one is KHRNF. So you can see that this one, it had this breakout over this like all-time high here a couple weeks ago. It set this new high at around 240, pulled back, and it's been consolidating since then. And this top chart is a daily chart. This bottom one is a 65-minute chart, an hourly chart basically. But you can see that it's building back up towards a breakout. So I was watching it for that breakout. So let's see what their filings say. Back to OTC markets. So KHRNF. This is another medical cannabis company. And let's look at their quarterly report. I want to take a look at their balance sheet. So they've got like 14.7 million cash. Liabilities, like a little under 2 million liabilities. Notice it says something about warrants here, $7 million. Shareholders' equity looks good at $17 million. It's positive, so that's a good thing. Let's keep going down. Now look at this part here. Cash used in financing activities. Well, so, okay. Net loss for the period for operating activities. Net cash used in operating activities. Nearly $11 million loss from operating their business. And then financing. So proceeds from issuance of private placements, $900,000. Proceeds from subscription receipts, about $11 million. Proceeds from financing, about $12 million. Proceeds from warrant exercise, $2.5 million. Net cash provided by financing activities, $26 million. So that does not look good to me. So in this management discussion and analysis, we're going to search for warrants. And right here, net cash provided by financing activities for 3 and 9 months ending September 30th was $26 million. As a result of raising all this money. This is the same numbers that I just looked at in the balance sheet on their quarterly report. So they're raising a lot of money through financing. And the company has no source of revenue. So even though they have positive shareholder equity, it's all coming from financing. So again, no thank you. That one is off of my list now. Next, ZYXI. You can see this is building back up towards a nice breakout over all-time highs. It came up and tested this high from around the beginning of 2018, and then it pulled back and it's been consolidating. So I was watching this one for that breakout. So let's go to their filings. ZYXI, electrotherapy medical devices for pain management and rehabilitation. Okay, that's fine. Let's just take a look here at their most recent filing, this 8K from February 7th. ZYXI announces uplisting to the NASDAQ capital market. Oh, look at that. So are they planning to uplist? What's it say? Is pleased to announce that its common shares have been approved to list on the NASDAQ Capital Market, so they've already gotten approval, and is expected to begin trading under its existing symbol, ZYXI, on February 12th, 2019. Today's February 18th. This says that they're already trading on the NASDAQ market. I thought this was an OTC. Let's go back to my chart here. Yeah, look at that. Right here, it says NASDAQ. I didn't even notice that they got uplisted. I play OTC breakouts. I don't play listed breakouts. Listed stocks trade totally differently because of the fully automated exchanges. So that's off my list. There's nothing wrong with the setup. It's just it doesn't fit my setup of being an OTC. Next, look at CINXF. So you can see this one just recently broke out past this kind of all-time high, assuming that this candle is just an error. There's like no volume that day, and it says that it gapped up and closed here, and then the next day it was right back kind of to where it had been the previous day. So I think that candle is not real. So this was kind of the all-time high. It tested it, consolidated, broke out. Now it's consolidating more for another breakout. So that's an interesting chart that I might want to play. So let's look at some of their filings. Company profile. Focus on the premium indoor cultivation, extraction, manufacturing, and branding of edible and derivative products. So they're another cannabis company. A lot of the OTCs that I play are cannabis companies. So let's take a look at their most recent management discussion and analysis file. We're going to search for warrants. And right here, warrants at October 31st, 2018. The date of this report, there are share purchase warrants outstanding to purchase 39 million shares of common and or Class A shares. And so they only have they have 87 million common shares outstanding. They've got warrants for 50% of that amount to increase their outstanding shares by 50%. They got 7 million warrants at $1, 4.5 million at $1.33, 25 million at $1.50, and 2 million at $1.99. So between $1 and $2, they've got 40 million shares, 50% of their outstanding warrants, of their outstanding shares. So let's go back to the chart. Look at this breakout level. We're going to be breaking out above like 94 cents. We're coming right up into that dollar area, and that's where I was hoping to maybe see a move through $1 and $1.50 and $2. This is just loaded with warrants. It doesn't mean that it's not gonna move. It doesn't mean that it can't go up through that area and keep going higher. We don't know that these warrants will be exercised, but just the fact that they're there gives me enough reason to just go ahead and pass on this one as well. Next, we got CADMF. So this one was setting up a nice like all-time high breakout combined with a multi-day breakout. I played this one last week, and I went ahead and cut losses at a couple cents a share. And yeah, but it's still, it's holding up, and it's ready to break out. So let's take a look at their filings. Company profile, they are a vertically integrated global leader in the cannabis industry. Okay, that sounds good. Now their filings are a little weird, like they haven't really filed anything since 2003. Then all of a sudden they published a whole bunch of stuff in December 3rd. They filed all kinds of previous quarterly reports. So let's just find one of the newer ones. So first quarter 2019, I think this is their most recent one. Muse International, formerly Canadian Mining Corp. Well, that's weird. Canadian Mining Corp? I thought this was a global cannabis leader. Balance sheet. Muse International, formerly Canadian Mining Corp. Wholly owned subsidiary of ZYXI Corp. Okay. Going concern. So I'm trying to see. Are they actually a cannabis company? Inventory. Nothing there. Tangible assets. Nothing. Equipment. It may not be in this filing. But basically, what I got from reading through this company's filings is that they're a mining company, or they have been. They were a mining company, and they're not making money as a cannabis company. Let's see if it's in this management discussion and analysis. The company has one material exploration property. This is talking about a mine, underlying mineral claims. Yeah, I mean, here, this is how they became a cannabis company. They bought this Puerto Rico-based LLC for $2.25 million cash and $1.6 million stock. So they bought some cannabis company, but here, exploration activity, Ballard Pass. As an exploration stage company, the company has not generated revenues to date from its property and anticipates it will continue to require equity financing to fund operations. So they're not making any money, and they're still just talking about being a mining company. I thought this was a cannabis company. They're not. So I'm no longer interested in this ticker. NGTF, Night Foods. So this one you can see is setting up for a breakout here above this, not all-time high, but multi-year high. Basically all-time, because I think this was when the stock first IPO'd, and it just kind of tanked down below that level from the get-go. So this is building up for a breakout. It actually did break out over this high on Friday, but it had a quick pullback. You can see it's just this is an hourly chart again, and look at the volume, and that wick, it popped up to about 80 cents and just pulled right back and all the way down to 60 cents. And so for a breakout, I was watching this one, but I wanted it to hold around this 75 or at least this like 70 cent level into about noon time Eastern, and it didn't. It fell right through there, so I ignored it. And let's take a look at some of their filings. So Night Food Inc.'s experts estimate that 80% of at-home ice cream consumption occurs in the hours before bed. Night Food's line of nighttime ice cream. So that's what they make. They make nighttime ice cream, which is somehow different than daytime ice cream, I guess. And then they've more recently created a subsidiary, MJ Munchies, to kind of get into the cannabis sector by marketing, I guess, ice cream, nighttime ice cream to to people smoking cannabis. Let's take a look at this 8K amended from February 14th. And so the thing that I saw in here that I don't like, registrant entered into lockup agreements with its largest shareholder, owner of 16 million shares. He's agreed to not transfer, sell, or otherwise dispose of any of his shares during the next 12 months. Okay, that's good. Those 16 million shares are locked up. As part of that agreement, he received warrants to acquire 400,000 shares at an exercise price of 30 cents per share. Now let's go back to the chart. We're in the 60-cent range right now. He just got 400,000 shares that he can exercise at half that price and make an instant 100% on those 400,000 shares. Okay, also, registrant entered into a leak out agreement, former affiliate and owner of 4 million shares, that restricts his ability to sell, transfer, dispose above a certain mutually agreed upon monthly threshold. So this guy has 4 million shares that he can't dump all at once, but he can dump X amount per month. So there's just basically that's some dilution or some supply that can lead to downward pressure on this stock, and because of that, I'm just going to steer clear of it. So that was almost half of the stocks on my watch list for tomorrow. I went through the filings on all of the stocks. This is kind of the first time I really looked into filings on OTCs. I was kind of surprised that there were so many filings, and there were quarterly reports that look like listed quarterly reports, because the OTC companies don't have the same requirements to where they have to file because they can't be delisted because they've already been delisted if they ever were listed in the first place. But it's just some red flags that are going to keep me away from these stocks, and they'll let me focus on hopefully some higher odds plays. So I hope that this has been useful, and it's hard to get into reading SEC filings. I've been meaning to be more diligent in reading them for about the last year or so, and it really wasn't until this reverse split strategy forced me to start reading them that I just had to do it, and I start getting comfortable with it, start understanding them more and more, and start seeing what kinds of things to look for. And now I can see how this is applicable to any stocks you might be trading, and it's just another way to add to your edge, especially because most retail traders, especially of these low price OTCs, majority of people aren't going to be reading these filings, so it's just another way that you can get a leg up over your competition and hopefully make a little bit more money. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Hit like, subscribe to my channel if you want to see any more content like this. I'll catch you later.